What's good, guys? Welcome back. Episode 3 of the NEW Wrestling Podcast. There's been a lot of wrestling stuff going on. WrestleMania is around the corner. Tears, how we doing today?
We are doing god awful on my end, but that doesn't really matter right now.
Well,
All jokes
and
aside.
QJ, how are you doing today? How's it going?
Pretty good, pretty good.
Well, there's been a lot of news, a lot of stuff going on. Uh, there was a big debut last night at AEW, a debut a lot of people have been expecting for a while. Mercedes Mone, aka Sasha Banks, finally made her long-awaited debut for AEW. So QJ, I'll start with you. What is your expectations for Sasha slash Mercedes, and what do you hope to see from her in a different company? And what do you just want to see from Mercedes?
Just have her go out there perform. I mean, she was treated good on WWE, so I think it should be in that same format. She's a big deal, and she could definitely wrestle in the ring. So hopefully they let her stay there for a long time.
Yeah, hopefully. She was one of my favorite wrestlers, women's wrestlers. I don't really like her attitude outside the ring. We've all heard the rumors about her kind of being toxic and not really good with fans or whatever you've heard. But hopefully she's just treated like which she will be treated like a big deal, especially with the money Tony Khan's paying her. She ain't working for cheap. But
Oh
like
dear.
me and QJ talked about last week, I don't know what to think about her saying right before she debuts that she will be back in WWE one day. I
Hmm
still don't like those comments personally.
That,
But
that's not
Tears, what do
something
you
to
think,
say.
Tears? Well, first, what do you
hmm
think of her making those comments, Tears? You weren't here last week. What do you think of the comments about her saying, "I'll be back there one day"?
First of all, that's not something you want your boss to hear when you just sign with them. Because that pretty much just means, like, okay, so we're just the flyby company. We got you. Like that doesn't vote confidence in me. Like now now I wouldn't be surprised if they're a little hesitant of ever giving her a title shot or even the title itself now. Cuz I was thinking like she's been doing great like in everywhere she's been outside of the WWE and she's been talking about AEW while she was in WWE, but now that you just mentioned that, I'm just like, "Oh, I don't know how you're going to do now."
Yeah, it was
So,
like literally a week before she debuted. Like last week, she was on a podcast talking about it.
yeah, that's. I'm just gonna say now I'm like a little on the sketch if they're gonna let that fly. I mean, maybe they won't hold that against her. Maybe they'll happily just take advantage of the fact that they got her while they got her. Because Tony Khan, we could say what we want about him, he is still at heart a wrestling fan, right?
Hell yeah, absolutely. Yep.
So maybe he'll just let that prioritize business, which not a good idea all the time, but whatever. So I guess we're just gonna have to wait and see. But now I'm just like a little bit on the will they pull the trigger on here, like for real?
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, obviously she's a big star. Nobody could take that away from her. Probably the biggest women's star they're ever going to sign there. We'll see in the future, but right now she
Mm,
probably is currently. Maybe they sign another woman in the future. I'm not saying won't ever surpass her, but right now she's the biggest women's wrestler they've signed, and it's going to take a big, big star to go there to top that. Which you never know. Somebody might get disgruntled in WWE like she did and head there. Who knows?
I mean, Paige was a big deal.
She was, but like
hmm
she didn't wrestle for so long, so it's like it was a big deal, but like she wasn't on that pedestal of like a Sasha Banks where she's coming from like the top company right away and she's on TV and she's been multiple women's champion and she was in the Four Horsewomen and all this other stuff. But
I get that. I get that. I get that. I don't know. I guess it's just a matter of opinion on what you see as the top like signee, like what makes someone a top signee.
yeah, like for women, in my opinion, she definitely is. But like I'll add this. What do you like? Tony Khan's QT, I'll start you. Tony Khan's been spending a lot of money. I think we talked about this a little bit last week. Tony Khan's got Okada, Ospreay, Mercedes. I mean, at what point is he gonna stop spending? I mean, he's not that he can't make some of that money back, but do you see these signings as being as much of an impact to get him some make that money that he's paying them back? Do you see some of these people gaining AEW popularity and gaining them ratings enough to be worth what he's paying them.
I don't know, kind of hard because you have so much main stars on there. It's kind of hard. Plus, you need to build some type of storyline. Can't just be just having matches just to have matches.
Absolutely, yeah.
Hmm.
Because like we'll get into a match they're doing later, but like, and by the way, if you guys hear noise in my background, I apologize. It's a little raining, and I live in an apartment upstairs, so it might be hitting the wall. So I apologize if y'all hear that. But like Tony Khan just needs to make these money back, and I love the matches, but he's got to start making some money. But Tears, what do you think of the 3 signings, and are they worth the money he's paying them? Okada, Ospreay, Mercedes Mone, 3 big names, big time names
Yeah.
coming to AEW.
Yeah, they big names.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh. Okay, so let's also bring the fact that we just lost Sting. Like
Yep,
for
and he was a
them.
big money plot for them.
Yep.
Right. So on one hand, it's just like, yeah, it's a lot of people that they're signing in with big contracts. And is it a gamble that they're going to make that money back with these people? 100%. Long term, it could, like, balance out. But there's something that we don't know as well, and that is who could potentially leaving AEW, who could be not on the payroll anymore. So it could be possible to where, like, we might be seeing some exodus, which will be allowing these contracts to not really affect them as much as we are thinking it is.
As we've seen a few of them, like Andrade came back, Ty Dillinger came back to NXT a few weeks ago, aka Sean Spears. They have been, not that those guys are making big money, but they are, like you said, off the payroll. So I understand your perspective from that.
Right. I feel like there's a chance at right now that they're gonna be making an impact if we get. And I love that you're making you. Let me sidetrack right here. I love that you said the word impact because this is reminding me of the Hogan Bischoff TNA, to where like they just signed everybody to big
Yeah.
contracts. Like that is my concern right there with how these contracts are going. Just contracts alone, not how they're booking it. Like, before people just automatically start assuming that booking is still going pretty decent. Not like to where like there's pure favoritism, but it's just these are some gamble signings.
They definitely are, especially
Yep.
the money. I heard Okada, I don't remember the exact number, but he's making a big amount of money from AEW. So,
Then again,
let's,
like the surprise that it's a heel Okada too, like that
yeah, with
should
the Young
affect
Bucks and
people.
everything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like that should get people's eyes like going.
It
Can't
definitely could
remember.
pay off for sure. I mean,
I
they're
can't
big
remember the
names.
last time he was a heel.
Yeah, it's been a minute for him. We'll have to see. I mean, AEW, I love the wrestling there, but we're gonna have to pick it up on the storylines. And they got a lot of names there. There's no excuse. They gotta just get on the gas pedal. Tony Khan needs the right people in his ears, people who know the wrestling business, and he'll be fine. But let's talk about something that happened on Raw. There was a big gauntlet match between Sami Zayn, Ricochet, Bronson Reed, Nakamura, JD McDonough, and Chad Gable, I think is the name I didn't mention, but 6-man gauntlet. Went about 40 minutes. Solid match. Wasn't a classic or nothing, but it was a solid match. I liked how Ricochet looked in that match and JD McDonough. A lot of fans were pissed off. Chad Gable ended up losing. And there was a lot of social media frenzy, kind of like not as bad as the Cody movement, but just a lot of fans pissed off that Sami Zayn won. And Booker T even said these comments about Sami. He said he was so literally upset about the online heat that he got from the fans. He's like, man, I thought the fans loved me. And then the next thing you know, I see all this stuff. I say, man, you can't listen to the white noise. You got to think about how great that match was. And you're going to look back on it one day and say, man, that was some really, really good work that I did. But he still, like I said, was feeling that heat. So, Tears, I'll start with you. Was that the right decision? Do you think they should make it a triple threat? What do you think they should do? Because a lot of fans want to be able to win and finally dethrone Gunther.
I feel like they might actually make it a triple threat because I'm just thinking, ever since the Daniel Bryan triple threat at Mania 30, WWE's been really liking that story because a lot of people also took what they did with right now with the Cody, Reigns, Rock, blah blah blah, that whole situation, and compared it to the Daniel Bryan situation. So it seems like with that being a different type of story, with it being 2 nights and the first night being the tag team match, they could somewhat take that story and put it in the IC situation with Gable. like saying like how the fans they chose Gable, they want Gable, but WWE thinks fans want Zayn, so maybe they might do that. I don't think Sami Zayn deserves this type of like hate. I mean, maybe the character, but not the person himself, because once again, people need to realize WWE wrestlers don't have as much control of the end result as fans want to say they do.
No, they do not. And like, I can understand why some fans don't want Gable. They say, well, Gable lost to him a few times. He did. Gable lost to Gunther a few times, but
Well, that makes him the underdog, because
it does, yeah.
if we look at all the great champions of the past, they lost so many matches against the like reigning champion, like dominant champion too. Like people want like that the hero of the story to get the win against the villain.
Yeah, that would have been a good. Like, Sammy can be considered an underdog, but like, it's not
The
as big
underground.
of a. Yeah, like, it's not as big as Chad Gable, but they got something they could do with it. Triple H usually listened to fans a lot more than Vince did, so we'll see. But QJ,
Well, I
what is
think
your
it's
thoughts on this? What do you think about Chad Gable losing to Sami Zayn in the gauntlet?
Pretty heartbreaking. I feel like he comes so close, and it just never goes his way. So he pretty much is the underdog. I think they should make that triple threat. And I don't know, man. I haven't really been a big fan of gauntlets lately. Just I don't know, just
really.
still don't live up to my potential like it used to. Like they don't go on as long as it should.
Do you think people look weak during it? Like, to me, Nakamura looked kind of week in the gauntlet.
Yeah,
Maybe I'm
can't
wrong,
have people look
but
weak. Mm-mm.
yeah, cause like,
Something on the line, you know what I mean?
yeah, number one contender and everything. Like, I get it. WWE's on a time schedule. Like, they got commercial breaks. They can't have everybody go
Mm-hmm.
this long. But it's like Nakamura's a former Royal Rumble winner, and you look at him now, and it's like, what
Like
the
we
hell are
seen
we
his matches,
watching?
NXT,
Yeah,
New
like,
Japan, like
it's
so you know
crazy.
what he could do.
But like, I don't know. WWE, like, it was a long match, more than what WWE typically puts on a Raw main event. Usually only like 10-minute main events for a 3-hour show, so it was an improvement. But I don't know. I feel like certain wrestlers have kind of, like, not everybody's gonna be pushed to the limit every single week, but I don't know. Nakamura just feels just like another guy at this point. But Tears, you're a big Nakamura fan. What do you think the problem is with his booking right now? I know you haven't kept up with it as much, but it just seems like he's kind of fell off a lot compared to where he was at.
I, would I like him to be booked better? 100%. But I think it's also the fact, like, I think he's content with his spot, like, just chilling, just not really doing too much right now. Because how old is he? 40 something
Probably
as well?
43, 44, probably.
Around there, probably. I feel like he's just, right, since he's a surfer, I'm going to use the surfer term, riding the waves right now. Just letting whatever happens.
Yeah, a lot of wrestlers are content. And he did come to America to work a safer style and keep his body healthier. And see, I can see that being the case. Just have to see. I mean,
Right.
have to see how Sammy and Gunther go. Not sure if Sammy's the right guy I would have beat Gunther personally, but
Another thing I would have to add about the Sami Zayn situation is the fact, like, there's no story relevance for it to be Sami Zayn
Mm-hmm.
too. Like, there's
it's pretty much just to
why,
put
like,
him in a match,
Just put
basically.
him there. Yeah.
right? Like, it's
Because
just
he had
like,
no other direct. He was supposed to be in the Drew and Rollins match, but guess they changed plans with that or
wait,
something.
what was he gonna even do there either?
Guess just be in the match.
Yeah.
That was a rumored match, triple threat, Drew, Rollins, and Sammy for the title, and then it was going to be, I guess, Gable and Gunther. But
That's a thing I have to say about Sami Zayn. It just feels like he is directionless right now. They're just going like, "Hey, Sami, we need you here."
to do
Why?
something,
We'll think of that later.
yeah, that's Triple H in charge has a lot of pluses, but there's been a few wrestlers who have been kind of directionless, which I include Theory,
Mm-hmm.
Sami Zayn. Like, I don't know.
Well,
Sammy, he already had a good moment
with
He
with
did.
that
Theory, it's
tag
more
team.
just like they don't know how to react with his character because he has a hard time having one.
He
Like
does.
Theory, he's a good wrestler, but he doesn't have a how to
Like a
word
gimmick
this.
that clicks with the audience, basically.
I wouldn't say just a gimmick. He just doesn't click with the audience like as a character or a person. He just people like his wrestling, but that's as far as I've been hearing people go for him.
Do you prefer him
Yeah.
heel or face?
I would
He's a
say his personality is better as a heel, but I don't
Hmm.
recall anything about him being face. I don't know
Well,
what
it
that's
is rumored
like.
he might be turning face against Grayson Waller. They have been teasing that a lot, so maybe they're trying to try something new with Theory and have him face Grayson Waller at Mania. That's what I've been hearing from the rumors. So maybe we get to see a face Theory. Maybe that'll help him out. He needs to do something different because right
Something.
now, yeah.
Maybe.
So let's move on to AEW. There recently, Sammy Guevara was suspended. He's been in a lot of hot water recently, and I like Sammy Guevara in the ring. It sounds like outside the ring he's a little bit of a prick. Not sure what the truth is with that. Maybe he's got a little bit of Randy Orton in him, where he's just kind of liked by management, and everybody else just says, "F you" or whatever. I don't know, but
Well, he has been
Tears,
there
you
since day
talked a little
one.
bit. Yeah, a little bit, but Tears, I'll start with you. What do you think about them suspending Sammy Guevara? Obviously, you heard Jeff Hardy. His knee hit his nose. Pretty sure he's had a broken nose. They didn't stop the match. Fans were pissed
Okay.
off. Don't know if this is a reaction by Tony Khan to suspend Sammy Guevara, but what do you think about it?
All right. I saw the clip that you sent me about the spot. I didn't watch the match. I'm not the only one here. I just saw the spot. And I don't know how the rest of the match went afterwards, but from that alone, it looks like that is a pure accident, and I don't think like if it's an accident, you should suspend somebody for it. We've had so many worse like accidents, and nobody got suspended. I remember the first ever Elimination Chamber where Van Dam did a frog splash from the top of the chamber and just landed on Triple H's
Oh
throat,
yeah,
the
that was
current
bad.
Mm.
champion, and just messed up his entire Adam's apple or something else in there. I don't know what. I feel like that's worse than a broken nose. Like, yeah, broken nose is bad, but nothing happened there. And I get like Sammy Guevara has done injuries to people in the past, also by accident, but so has Rollins, so has Nia Jax, so has so many people in the past. So a suspension, I'm just like, I feel like that was just purely reactionary and really doesn't deserve that much. Should can people boo him for it? Yeah, you definitely can, but as a company wise, like as a person who's trying to make money, I feel like that's completely like out of left field.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. I mean, I watch AEW not weekly, but I do catch the shows, especially I got cable again. I tune in here and there, and I haven't really seen much of Sammy Guevara the last few months to care. I mean, he's on TV, but I just never really care about him as much as I used to. But maybe he's just got a bad rep. I don't know. I don't know what Tony Khan's. He's been a Jungle Boy for the Punk incident. Now he's been a Sammy Guevara. I don't know if he's trying to send a message like, look, I'm not just the boss. Everybody walks all over. You can't just do what the hell you want. I don't know if that's what he's trying to do. But QJ, what do you think about this whole? I know you like Sam. You liked a lot of his matches. What do you think about them suspending him for this Jeff Hardy incident?
How long he's suspended for?
Not sure. They didn't give a length or nothing. They just said he's suspended indefinitely for now.
I mean, I get it happens. People get hurt. Um, Sam, he plays his act. He's a tough guy, but uh, I would have suspended him, but it probably would have been. I mean, okay, maybe a day. So
Yeah, like pretty much like around a week show or something. Like get him out of there for a week.
yeah, I haven't really watched him too much. So, but you said he did have other and hurt other people. So
Yeah, he hurt Matt Hardy before. Like almost actually killed him. His head almost hit the asphalt or like the concrete, like a backstage match they were having. So he's got like a bad
yeah,
rep pretty much.
I guess if he has like a bad rep, then that's different. But it just happened. Things happen all the time. It's wrestling. Everything ain't gonna be performed perfectly. You know,
No, it's not.
I know a lot of people say this is fake, which it is, but I
People
want them
die
to go
in the
out. I
ring.
want y'all to go out there and try those moves and tell me how y'all feel. This is like
That's,
attempted.
that's what fans don't understand. Like, yeah, it's all like, acting and doing moves. You still got to perform the moves correctly, take the moves correctly, protect your opponent. There's been, I don't think fans realize how much of a toll wrestling takes on their bodies. That's why a lot of guys were addicted to painkillers, like Randy Orton and Kurt Angle were.
Yep.
And we'll talk about that in a future episode, but hopefully Sammy gets his mind right. Hopefully he's at home with his new kid and Ty Conti or whatever he's doing. Hopefully he just gets right. But we're talking about a woman who, next, Maxxine Dupri. She's very popular within the fans. I don't really get why. I guess because she's just hot. I don't really get what the appeal is. But most of you heard she got booed at a live event. Fans said, "You suck, Maxxine," and pretty much trended online. Rhea Ripley was coming to her defense, saying she tried her best and all that. And now they're including it in a storyline. Candice LeRae, paraphrasing here, pretty much said your dead brother wouldn't want to see you. You're an embarrassment to the company. And then the woman in the back talk shit about you. I'm not saying exactly what she said, but she said something like that. So, Tears, I'll ask you the first thing is, do fans have a right to boo her if she's not very good in the ring? And should she be sent to NXT? And should WWE know better than to put her out there when she ain't that good in the ring yet?
I would say for that question, honestly, yes. You can't just tell the fans not to boo someone if they don't like them. We have booed people for so many years to the point to where they know we do, but they don't care at times too. I'm just curious what's causing Rene Dupree to be the one that's getting booed. We booed Nia Jax. Nobody cared. We booed Roman Reigns for his booking. Nobody cared. I'm just curious, why is it Rene Dupree right now who
Oh, you
might
mean
be way
Maxxine
too...
Dupri?
Yes. Why did I say... Oh,
Rene
God,
Dupree
I
has a
hate
good
myself.
podcast, though. I like his podcast.
I feel bad for myself for doing that.
Check out Rene Dupree's podcast, though. Cafe de Rene. I watched a lot. It's good. But continue to.
But this is also like how when we booed Lacey Evans when she got called up way too early as well, if anybody remembers that.
She was very green at first. Very green.
Right. So I say if the fans want to boo them, then yeah, they can boo them. Because we also booed Enzo. I forgot his name already. Ellsworth, that guy. We booed them all. Nobody cared. So I'm just wondering, there has to be something going on that we are not noticing, that why they're caring about her getting booed.
Guessing it's because she's well liked backstage. I don't know. I mean, if you don't want to get booed, you're in the wrong profession. Wrestling fans are going to tell you what they think. It don't matter what you do. It's just part of it. But, I mean, it is what it is with that. Before I move on to the second question, QJ, what do you think about this whole Maxxine Dupri? Do fans have a right to boo her? And should she be sent down to NXT to improve her in-ring skills?
I feel he wasn't ready for the match. I just got to communicate. I don't think I'm ready. Save this for another time. I mean, with the fans, you get to boo whatever you want. We've seen a lot of people get booed. We've seen a lot of people mess up spots. Cool, she went out there, did what she did, but if you feel you're not ready, just communicate more. That's all I can say.
Yeah, let's go up to Triple H and say, yo, listen, I got to go to NXT, work on my scrap a little bit. I'm not trying to do a comparison here because I don't want to be disrespectful to Maxxine Dupri. She's still green, and I don't know if she's going to be on this level of bad, but I just feel like she's getting in that Eva Marie Lana stage where she's just a pretty face they put out there, and that's it.
God, I remember that.
Yeah. I've heard some comparisons, and it's really a perfect comparison because Eva Marie was just a hot woman on TV who had no business being in the ring. And Lana was a manager. They decided, I don't know if it was a Vince thing or what, say, oh, let's put her out in the ring, damn it. Let's try it. No.
I mean, to be fair, look at all the things Vince likes in a female wrestler, and look what Lana was. It pretty much writes for itself.
It makes sense, yeah. By the way, Lana and Miro got a divorce. Or not a divorce, but they're separated, which is, I did not know that, but that's...
I heard about that. I was very surprised.
Yeah, that's something, but to the second part, are you guys okay? QJ, I'll start with you. Are you okay with them including this in a storyline, mentioning her dead brother and everything? Is that cool with you? Do you think this is WWE taking advantage of a hot angle right now, or would you go in a different direction?
Just taking advantage of the hot angle right now.
Yeah, definitely agree. Tears, what about you?
I'm not okay with it whatsoever.
Is it the dead brother part that you're not?
Yeah,
feeling?
I've never been a fan of storylines that use real life like
Hmm.
issues. I didn't like it when WCW used it for Scott Hall's alcohol situation that led to that. I didn't like it when Paige brought it up with Charlotte. I don't like it. I just don't like it. I don't like it at all. I'm never a fan of like using people's actual personal problems for storylines. Like, yeah, it's good for making it feel real for the audience, but there are times to where like, what if they're not okay with it? Like, is she okay with it? She might be. I don't know. We're not privileged to know that shit. And I'm sorry for cutting right there. It's just like, it's if she's okay with it, then fine. They can use it. But until we know that it's okay for them to use it, I'm just
Wrap it.
saying, I'm just not okay with it.
Wrap
Yeah,
it.
we'll have to see. Uh, I don't know. I mean, Triple H, in my opinion, probably went to her and said, "You know what? We want to use this." Triple H don't seem like he'd be events and just do shit without people knowing.
Hmm.
But we'll see. I mean, hoping for the best for Maxxine Dupri. Hopefully she don't turn to Alani Marie. Hopefully she improves. But we'll see. But speaking of WWE again, this is just a rumor. Brian Alvarez talked about it. That WWE is considering bringing back Brock Lesnar. I don't know if that's any truth to it. He's still on the roster page, but I don't think they ever removed him from the roster page. A bunch of fans are like, "Oh my God, they put him back on the roster page. Brock's coming back," and all this other shit. Maybe he is. If you read the lawsuit, Brock did a lot of things wrong, but he technically didn't do anything physically wrong to this girl. He just asked for a piss video and a message. So, QJ, I'll start with you. Should WWE bring back Brock, or would you just leave him out forever? They took him out of WWE 2K24 as a playable character. Would you bring back Brock Lesnar personally, or no?
Later down the line, not right now.
Yeah, it feels like it's just too
But I mean,
soon.
in the game, I mean, you might as well just keep him in the game at that point.
He's still in. No, they took him out of WWE Supercard too. They took him out of everything. Like, I get Brock makes them a lot of money, but WWE's doing fine right now. They don't need Brock to be back right now. It's just not. I don't know. I mean, we'll see. But Tears, what do you think about it? I know you're a Brock Lesnar guy. Do you think he should come back or ever come back, or is it too soon? What's your thoughts?
All right, for the game, I think he should be back in. People who buy these games, let's be honest, they don't typically care about that stuff. I'm
Hmm.
sorry if this ruffles people's feathers, but gamers don't care about personal problems. Like they didn't care, like when SVR7 put in Benoit, people did not care. That might be a hot take, but I will take that until somebody comes at me about it, which they probably will, and I will not listen. Um, but having Brock in the game, I think they should. However, in WWE, I don't see a reason. I saw somebody mention to her like if him versus Cody was Brock Lesnar's last match in the WWE, it was the best match for him to go out on. So as a performer, I don't think it's necessary. Him being on the roster card, why does that matter? why does it
Yeah,
matter
they
that
were making
he
a
is?
big deal. They said he's still on the roster page. They didn't
Hmm.
remove him, but they never removed him. So it's like,
Yeah, like I don't see a reason for him being on the card, like for the roster mattering. Like if he was an active competitor, I could see that being an issue. But it's it's Brock Lesnar. He's not an active competitor. I
no.
remember hearing that UFC wanted to sign him. I don't know if that's still going through. If that's not, I don't know. So I would say like to show him on TV, maybe in like a month or two. But game wise, doesn't matter. Put him in the next update for all I care. So it really, and if all he did was just ask for a video, still weird. But yeah, no, I'm sorry. That's just weird.
Hey, especially when you have Sable, it's like, bro,
Well, was this when he had Sable? Was this like some other?
this was in 2021, I think, or 20. Yeah,
Oh,
this was very recent with Vince. And this
I'm
is
gonna be
around the
honest.
time Brock re-signed with the company. So
I'm gonna be honest. I don't know anything about this controversy. I avoided it like the plague. along with
So
other
pretty much to
controversies.
sum it up, Vince and Brock were talking through text. It said former UFC champion, so it kind of gave it away it was Brock at the time. But apparently Brock, and I'm paraphrasing a little bit here, said like, "Oh, send me a video of this girl and I'll resign or whatever." I don't know what the hell was the whole thing going on, but it was still weird. So who knows if we'll ever see Brock back? But we'll just have to see what WWE decides to do with that. So let's talk about a big match that's coming up. Pretty sure it's on April 21st in my home state, St. Louis, Missouri, AEW Dynasty. And they've already announced a dream match for the show. Big match. Bryan Danielson against Will Ospreay. Really looking forward to that match. It should be a lot of fun. QJ, you're a big fan of both these guys. What are you hoping to see from this dream match, Will Ospreay against Bryan Danielson?
Hoping to see just like how Bryan and Kenny Omega went at it. All out. Go to the time limit. Just let them put on the show. Show them why they deserve, why they are, and who they are.
And who they
One
are,
thing I
too,
got
damn
is
it.
Ospreay. You better sell. Some of them, just some moves. Just some.
Yeah, that no sell at the last pay-per-view was bad.
Yeah.
It was bad.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a problem with AEW. Me and QJ talked about a little bit. Tears was like the no selling they do sometimes. I feel like it's just unbelievable some of the shit they get up from, or just.
Oh man.
Trust me, even myself, I'm not unaffected hearing about the no selling a pile driver and stuff like that. Even like in the natural, like former like religious watcher space, we hear about that.
Yeah, it's bad in AEW. I mean,
Wait, tell them about that Sting one. Oh man.
Yeah, Sting got hit with like 2 supers, didn't even go down. I get it, it's Sting's last match, but bro, like, and then I saw Joe get up from like 3 buckshot lariats. Swerve got hit in the head with the title like twice. He was up like 3 minutes. I'm like, bro, y'all gotta stop with this, bro. Like, back in the day, title shots used to put people out. Now dudes are getting right up from it. And WWE knows sell some shit too. Don't get me wrong. All these companies do it a certain degree, but
That
man,
Tombstone Sweet Champ music, I need that out completely.
Yeah. And even on Raw this week, I like R-Truth. He did the attitude adjustment to Priest, and it looked like a normal move. Priest just kicked right out of it. Like, bro, stop doing these moves and having dudes.
Well, you also have, like, to be fair, the attitude adjustment is also just a straight up Death Valley driver. And
It
Death
is.
Valley driver
Definitely.
Yeah, that's true. Right on that.
Like, I just see so many moves like the tombstone, the pedigree, the attitude adjustment, pile drivers, all this shit that used to put guys away, and now it's just like normal moves in a match. Like, it's just crazy to me. But
I think we are getting the effect that people said about the DDT back in the day,
and
the lariat. Because remember when the lariat was a very devastating move, like,
and now it's just normal.
we're just experiencing what people before us have experienced.
I agree, yeah. But Tears, what do you think about this match? Will Ospreay and Bryan Danielson, big dream match.
I am both very excited, but also, no matter what, still concerned because it's Bryan Danielson who always goes a little too hard in his matches, and Will Ospreay is carrying his matches with how tough he goes. So it's pretty much to where, like, whatever happens, it's going to be like both of them putting everything they can in the match, but that's also concerning because they're going to put everything in the match.
Yeah, it's going to be an all-out, and Tony Khan will let them go all-out. We all know he will, so can't wait to see it, for sure.
Like, when we talked about, like, how people said in the Sammy Guevara and what is going on?
I think that's cute shit.
Go ahead.
Like I was saying before I got distracted, the Sammy Guevara, Jeff Hardy, like people were saying, like the match should have stopped. Keep in mind with Bryan Danielson and Will Ospreay, they don't know how to stop a match, so it's going to be that type of situation.
It should be fun, whatever happens. I know there's some fans who say, well, Bryan Danielson takes too many losses. It's not going to, this match doesn't mean, it's still a dream match at the end of the day. It's still 2 of the very best. Bryan's in his last year. He's going to retire. He wants to have all these matches. Let him. If he loses, whatever. It ain't like
flip a coin, he'll
win
that. Just flip a coin.
Yeah, it's going to be good regardless.
I saw people were upset that Sting won his final match, and because there's so much of this, like, knowledge that, like, if it's their last match, they lose it. So
But
I
he's
don't
not
see
putting anybody over. The Young Bucks are already over. Like it ain't like he's facing like a young up and coming tag team he's putting over or anything. You know what I mean?
Right. So if Brian's going to retire, why does it matter if it's a win or loss? Like,
Yeah, that's the thing. It's his
Well, let
last
me
year.
ask you:
So.
should a person lose their final match or win it? Or depends.
I
Depends who it's
personally
against.
prefer them to win. I personally prefer the person to, if it's their final match, to win it. I wasn't a fan of, like, say, Baron Corbin being Kurt Angle in his final
That
match.
was horrible.
That's
Kurt didn't
that's
even
my
want to do that
example.
match.
That
He wanted
should
to face
never
Cena
happen
in that
again.
match. Yeah, it's.
I still say Undertaker should win his final match, but I can't remember what his
I
final
think he already
match
had
was.
his final match. I think.
I just don't remember who or what it was against. I know Triple H won his final match. Nobody seemed to complain there, but then again, it took a whole year for him to retire after that.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things to where, like, I feel if Bryan is going to be retiring, his win-loss record shouldn't matter.
It shouldn't. 'Cause, I mean, a lot of fans were upset he lost to Eddie Kingston. I mean,
I think that was I personally think that was a good thing because keep in mind before AEW, Eddie Kingston was just going to retire because wrestling was just not working. So I'm a huge supporter of Eddie Kingston, so that might seem biased, and I will fully take that.
Yeah, I mean, Eddie Kingston deserved that win. And Brian, like we talked about, he's retiring. Not saying he's gonna just lose 100 matches in a row. I'm not saying he should do that, but I mean, he's putting guys over on his way out basically, and there's no issue with that. But the final topic, we're gonna be talking about the three, in our opinions, the three most underutilized wrestlers in AEW and WWE. We're gonna start at number 3. We're gonna start with Tears. Tears, who do you have as your number 3, and why do you have him listed as it?
Number 3, I feel I don't. This one might be too early to say, but Kairi Hojo or Kairi Sane's return, I feel like it should be bigger than what it is right now. You know what I mean? Like, this is Kairi Sane coming back and being a part of this, and now it's just like,
Just a random tag team with Asuka.
we're just gonna move on now. Like, we got her to replace Bayley pretty much. Like,
Yeah,
I guess that's the best way to put it.
weird.
She just feels like like just an insert replacement for Bayley. And I don't think Kairi deserves that.
I agree, because she's one of the best women wrestlers out of Japan ever, and it's like
She's considered like the B to Io Sky's A, or vice versa, depending on who you're more of a fan of.
yeah, I mean they're both very good. I mean Io Sky's obviously the women's champion. Who knows if she'll retain against Bayley? We'll see. But yeah, Kairi Sane's definitely underutilized. I know she's tag champions with Asuka, so some fans might say, well, she's tag team champion, so how is she underutilized? I get that perspective.
Can I just add something to that?
Yeah, go ahead.
When was the last time the women's tag belts were relevant?
Yeah, I was about to say, those titles mean jack shit. And I keep
Like,
hearing fans say, oh, bring a women's mid-card title. They don't even care about the women's tag titles. Y'all want a women's mid-card? There's already two
please
women's.
don't do that. Please.
Yeah, nah. That's interesting, though, Kairi Sane. But QJ, what about you? Who do you have as your number 3 on most underutilized talents between AEW and WWE?
Cedric Alexander.
That's a very good one. I forgot about Cedric. And would you say would you want Cedric more just on TV, or do you just want him more important?
More on TV, because y'all remember that Cruiserweight Classic. Still to this day. I'm in the Bushi, one of the best matches on there, on that Classic.
Yeah, that match is insane. His work in Ring of Honor was really good, too, before he went to WWE. Why is Cedric still in WWE?
Right? Why
like,
this accent? Why is he still in there?
I'm sorry that I
Why?
laughed when he mentioned Cedric and you said you forgot about him. And I'm just like, that summed it up perfectly right there.
How is he not in the releases? Like, I'm not asking anybody to be fired, but like, how is Cedric still there? That's.
Now watch, the time this is posted, we see a release schedule and it has Cedric in it.
Wouldn't be surprised, but Triple H likes Cedric, so maybe he's like, let me keep this guy around. Hey, they kept Fandango employed for 10 plus years.
They did.
R-Truth's been employed for like 20 years, and he barely does shit. So.
They just love him.
Now, to be fair with R-Truth, he saved WWE.
No, he did.
During 2020.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
He did. That heel run was really good by him. I enjoyed it. But
yeah.
for my number 3, and this could be a debatable one depending on how you look at it, but I gotta go Jordan Devlin, aka JD McDonough. I just feel like he's made it to be a joke on the main roster. I don't really like it. I feel like he's actually pretty damn good. I know it's the main roster and fans view wrestling differently and all this other shit, but he just feels like a goof. I don't like guys in goof gimmicks. I just don't, especially with the way WWE books goof gimmicks. Had him come out in the Rumble, he got eliminated in like 1 second. It's just like, damn, bro. Like, what? This guy was like NXT UK, putting on great matches and put on shows, and now he's looking like a goof. Like, it's just crazy to me. But oh, I mean, he's in Judgment Day, so he's on TV. It's more we could say for someone like Cedric we were just talking about, but just have to see where it leads. But Tears, who do you have as number 2 on your underutilized list?
Well, considering we mentioned him earlier, I'm gonna have to say Theory as well. Like, he seemed like he was getting pushed, like when he was the U.S. champion and then fought Cena. But I guess that rumor might be true that Triple H just doesn't really find him interesting like that. Because not saying like his team up with Waller doesn't make sense. I think they definitely make sense in a sense to where like they just seem fun together. But the dude isn't doing anything again. He just feels like one of those guys. He feels like the helpers to where like, oh, here's our major heel. This will be the team that helps the heel out.
I could see that. Yeah, they kind of just have him and Waller just be kind of there.
Right. I
But
mean,
they
you
might
could
be
put
setting
Waller
them up
with
against each other eventually.
right. I mean, you could put Waller with Theory and make it a tag team. That'd be interesting. But
I think they're doing that right now. I think that's what they're.
well, I'm
actually
saying
doing.
like my number 2 could be both of them put together, but I'm going to prioritize Theory.
Oh, okay, yeah, I get you saying. Yeah, Theory just hasn't like I get WWE was back into a corner because Reigns was their only main champion. They were like, okay, Theory beating Reigns would just not make any fucking sense. Like I get that, but like, man, after he lost that Money in the Bank cash, and man, it's just been downhill from there. At least with Vince booking him, he was at least kind of taken seriously. Now he's just like, oh yeah, Theory, he's on the roster, like he's just there. I don't know. We'll have to see. But QJ, who do you have as number 2 on your list?
Might have to be the Miz for me.
Miz is an interesting one. Why do you say Miz on your list?
I don't know. He just back then he was a real deal. Now it's made him a joke. He was losing to Snoop Dogg, stuff like that.
And Pat
I don't know.
McAfee too, at the same time.
Yeah, it was a big deal, man. It's just I don't know. I mean, he did do the match with Gunther, but I don't know. I feel they just making him more of a just a talker.
Yeah, I mean, I could agree. Um, like Miz is getting a little older. I know he's in his 40s, which ain't really old in wrestling nowadays because a lot of the main guys are like 40. But
I don't want another title. So.
yeah, he should at least have one more final run. And like Miz gets so much hate for his in-ring ability. And I really never understood why. I mean, he's actually not that bad in the ring. Like, is he a AJ Styles or a Gargano or anybody? Like, nah, but like the guy can work if you put him in there with the right people. It's just they gotta let him do more in his matches. It feels like he's only getting like 10-minute matches, and he's just walking around doing whatever during half the time. Like, yeah, Miz is a good one. For me, I'm gonna go AEW one. I'm gonna go Wardlow. Uh, I know he's involved in Adam Cole's new group or whatever the hell's going on with that, but I mean, this guy could be a world champion, and it just seems like they were building up this MJF and Wardlow match, and they were building it up and building it up and building it up and teasing it, and it just kind of just never went much of anywhere. Like, it kind of skyrocketed Wardlow to a bigger main event level, and they just kind of stopped booking him. Like, I don't know. Tears, did you mention Wardlow as like someone you were considering? What do you think about his booking in
Yeah,
AEW?
like I remember when he turned on MJF, I predicted that MJF was gonna win the World Championship, which he did. I called that. Thank you very much. But I predicted also that it was gonna be Wardlow who beats MJF, like because he was the one that turned on him first. That winded up never happening, and I feel upset about that. But yeah, I would say Wardlow because now it's just like, what is he doing? Like he had like so much potential. Well, he still does, but like he had more of it when he showed up. Like fans were starting to love him, especially with the F10. And now it's just like, well, we're just waiting for the moment. What's going to be the moment?
It's long past now.
Yeah, like you didn't. Well, then again,
They've
and the
tried a
Iron.
few times, but they wasted their opportunity. Like they really missed like the golden opportunity with them to really make him like a big star. Like they kind of missed the goal on that.
Right, but then again, I'm also thinking now that I put more thought into it. It's just like when the Iron was hot to make him champ. It's just like, yeah, but there was also so much going on at the time too.
Yeah, you had Hangman, Omega, and you had MJF, and you had other people rolling in, and it's tough. I feel like him and WWE would be the best move for him if he decides to go there, maybe
I
depending
mean,
on
I
what
could
WWE.
see that his moveset is definitely like safe enough to where like he won't have to change or force to do anything. And plus, I'm pretty sure they will allow him to keep doing the F10. Probably call it something else. I don't know what to call it, but I can see him still being able to do it. But he'll probably have to have a second finisher as well, because he's going to be fighting a lot of big dudes as well. So he's going to have something against that as well.
It'd be like another power move. Yeah, I could see that being a move. But Tears, who do you have number one on your underutilized list?
This one I am excited to mention because I like AEW. We all know this. I like their roster. I like the people. But this one I was excited for at first, and it's been several years. When is Malachi Black gonna do something?
He hasn't had a singles match. Well, didn't he have a singles match? I think he had one like a few weeks. He hadn't had a singles match in like 3 years with the company.
I get his strong suit is being like in a faction in his group. Like he even outside of WWE, his strongest point was always like in teams. He's one of the best tag team competitors there are, and I get using that strength. But at the same time, this is in kayfabe, the guy who removed Cody from AEW. We have so much potential for that as well. Like we could just put Brody King and Buddy Matthews in the tag team scene. Yeah, they have a trios titles. That's great. Glad they have them. They're fun. But we can have those two in the tag team, and at least Malachi Black and feuds against other people. Like we have potential for him to do stuff. Please.
Yeah, he's got to do more. Cause, I remember when he faced Cody, I was like, oh shit, this guy's gonna be a big deal. He beat Cody. I was like, wow, this guy gonna be. And then a few months later, he's doing nothing. It's like, bro, not everybody can be a big star. I get it, but if you're booking somebody to beat Cody, and now he barely does single matches, it's just. And it kind of goes with the report that was out about Tony Khan, how a lot of talents are frustrated because it's constantly just changing, or they don't know what they're doing, or maybe that's going on, or he has too many people in his ear, or talents are saying, I'm not doing this. Apparently that's a thing too, where talents, he books something and somebody says, oh, I'm not doing that. So he goes and changes it constantly. I don't know, but Malachi Black should have been a bigger deal in that company. But
At the very least, one of the mid-card belts. I don't want to say the TNT belt. I don't like how that title's called, personally. But maybe that, I don't know.
just something
Really,
for him. Something.
yeah, just I want to at least appreciate you signing him. Because when I saw that he was signed, I saw his match, I was excited. And now I'm just like, we're here. We're still here. I don't want to be here no more. I want to be further down the road.
Yeah, he feels like an Andrade where it's the case of he's just waiting for his contract to be up and he's ready to just go back to be with his wife in WWE. I just feel like it's kind of just at that point. Same
I
with
heard.
Buddy Murphy. I feel like, or Buddy Matthews, sorry, but like a lot of these dudes' women's are in WWE and you know they want to go there, but they're signed to a contract. They're like, oh, I'll just wait for the time to go out and I'll head back over. So we'll see. But QJ, who do you have as your number one on your list?
I think he's gonna work in this too.
Probably Tony Storm.
That's an interesting. I don't know. Tony Storm's been like one of the hottest women in AEW, I think. At least what I've
Actually,
seen.
let me take that back. Dakota Kai.
Oh, the
Better.
Guy. Yeah, that's a good.
Better.
Yeah, 'cause Tony Storm has like this new gimmick, and everybody's
I
talking about.
didn't even look up. Sorry, y'all, chat. I didn't even look it up. Look it up.
Nah, you
I
cool.
got you. relevant.
Dakota Kai definitely could be. I know she's involved in like the. I always forget their goddamn damage control. Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
I need to see some more end wing work.
Like she is coming off an injury. I think that's why she hasn't wrestled in a while. But like she does need to get back to doing more, especially in the ring.
She needs
Maybe
to
her and
be
Bayley.
brought into it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
To let people know, like, hey, we did miss a lot with her. Instead of just
Yeah,
being
she's
like,
a
you
hell of a
never
talent.
left.
Yeah, it's kind of just like, okay, well, now she's a part of damage control. She's kind of the mouthpiece for damage control right now because obviously they don't really speak English too well, so she's kind of the mouthpiece. So we'll
Yep.
see how that leads. But for my number one, I got Chad Gable, just because, like, yeah, he faced Gunther, like we talked about earlier. He faced Gunther a few times. It just feels like WWE's afraid to pull the trigger with Chad Gable. I really don't get why. With Triple H, it shouldn't be a size matter thing. He pushes people he likes, regardless of size, unlike Vince. So it's like, what is the holdup? This guy can work. He's over. I just don't get it. I don't get what the holdup is with Chad Gable. He's like a mini Kurt Angle. He could be Kurt Angle's son. Like, he's that good.
Yeah.
I don't want to bring up that storyline.
Yeah, Jason Jordan. Yeah.
But like I said earlier, that could come back to, like I said, to where like we all saying this now, and then it turns out he beats Gunther for the title at Mania.
They could make it a triple threat. His shoulders, if you've seen the picture, anybody, his shoulders weren't on the mat when Zayn pinned him. So I don't know if they did that on purpose or if that was a botch, but that could lead to a triple threat.
They could use that, like they used the botched Big Show Royal Rumble.
Oh yeah, that was crazy.
I always love it when they use botches for storylines.
Yeah, it's funny when they do that. But yeah, that's our list. Hopefully y'all enjoyed listening. Make sure to like and subscribe. We'll have more episodes weekly. Thanks for watching.
I guess I shouted out Rene Dupree.